God used you to teach them all. What an incredible thought. You see, everything that you go through, every trial, every challenge, every moment of weakness is not just for your own growth, but it's for the lessons that you will impart to others. God doesn't waste experiences. What you have endured, He has allowed so that others can learn from your journey. Sometimes we look at our struggles and think they're pointless or unfair. We ask, why me? But the truth is, God has called you to be a teacher. He has set you apart to be a living testimony of His grace, His mercy, and His ability to bring us through the hardest times. You are not merely a survivor, you are a teacher, and you will teach others by the way you respond to your circumstances. When you walk through the fire and come out refined, others are watching. They are waiting for you to show them how to handle pain, how to rise when they fall, how to trust God when everything seems lost. Your strength in adversity is their lesson. Your peace in the storm is their guide. Your faith in the face of doubt is their inspiration. God uses people who have been through the most because they understand the value of perseverance. They understand that the lessons learned in the hardest seasons are the most powerful tools for building others up. And yes, you are equipped to teach those lessons. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all together. The reality is your authenticity in your struggles is what makes you a teacher. You teach them with your humility, with your resilience, and with your unwavering belief that God is at work in your life. There are people out there who are going through what you've already been through. They don't need your pity. They need your example. They need to see how you got up after you fell. They need to know how you forgave when you were hurt. They need to understand how you kept going when you wanted to give up. You are the lesson they've been waiting for. God doesn't just use the well-established, the successful, or the perfect. He uses the broken, the bruised, the ones who have learned to trust Him even when they couldn't trace Him. When you allow God to use you, you become the teacher. You become the beacon of hope for someone else. And in doing so, you fulfill your purpose. So every time you feel like you're not enough or that you're too flawed to be used by God, remember this: your struggles are a part of your teaching. Your growth is a part of your lesson. You are exactly who God needs you to be to teach those around you. You are His instrument, and your life is the classroom where He's using you to show the world His love, His power, and His grace. God uses your struggles for a greater purpose, and this is something that many often overlook when they're in the middle of their challenges. It's easy to focus solely on the difficulty, the pain, or the feeling of being overwhelmed. We tend to ask questions like, why me? Or why does this have to happen to me? But what if, instead of seeing it as a pointless struggle, you began to view it as a divine opportunity? Every trial you face is not just a test of your own strength, but an opportunity for you to learn something deeper, something more profound, that will eventually help someone else who is going through the very same thing. Think about it for a moment. You might be going through hardship right now, but someone is watching you. They are observing how you respond when life gets hard. You may not realize it, but your struggle is never wasted. God does not allow suffering without purpose. He doesn't send difficulties into your life just to test you in isolation. Your experiences, your growth, your overcoming, all of that becomes a tool in His hands to teach and help others. There are lessons in every battle you fight. And those lessons are not just for your own benefit. They are meant to be passed on to others who will go through similar challenges. We often hear people say, I don't know why I had to go through this, but the real question should be, what did I learn from this, and how can it be used to help others? Your struggles are shaping you into someone who can speak into the lives of others with authority, compassion, and empathy. You are being equipped with the tools you need to offer real solutions and guidance to people who will walk down the same path you are walking now. The challenges you face are not merely for your personal transformation. They are part of the greater plan that God has for your life. It's through your overcoming that you'll be able to teach others the value of resilience, perseverance, and faith. Your story, your experience, your testimony will become the very thing that pulls someone else out of despair. God is working in you and through you, not just for you, but for those who will cross your path in the future. What you are going through today is preparing you to teach others tomorrow. That's how God works. He doesn't waste anything. Every experience, every setback, every moment of struggle is part of the process of shaping you into the teacher He has called you to be. Your journey is a living testimony of God's power at work in your life, and it is one of the most powerful tools you have in teaching others. We often think of a testimony as something that only comes after we've reached the other side of a challenge. But the truth is, your testimony is unfolding right now in the midst of the very struggle you are facing. Every day you get up and face your battles, you are displaying a living testimony of God's grace. How you respond to what's happening around you, how you maintain your faith in spite of the odds, how you continue to press forward even when it seems impossible, is the testimony that others will see and learn from. You see, a testimony isn't just words or stories from the past. It's the present reality of God's work in your life. It's how He strengthens you in your weakness, how He guides you when you can't see the way forward, and how He equips you with everything you need to endure and thrive. When others see your testimony in action, it becomes a beacon of hope to them. They see you standing firm, and they begin to understand that if God can do it for you, He can do it for them too. Your testimony is not about perfection or never stumbling. It's about showing others that even in the face of adversity, God is right there with you, giving you the strength to rise above. As you walk through your trials, others are learning from your example. They see your perseverance when you feel like giving up. They witness your peace amidst chaos, your patience when everything seems to be moving too slowly. They notice your kindness in the face of injustice, your faith when fear threatens to take over. All of this is part of your testimony. It's the message that others need to hear, not in words alone, but in the way you live, the way you respond, and the way you continue to trust God, even when the situation doesn't make sense. The testimony you offer is one of transformation. It's the proof that God doesn't leave His people in their mess, but works through it, refining and shaping them into something beautiful. When you allow God to work in and through you, your life becomes a testimony of His faithfulness and His ability to turn every trial into triumph. This is the lesson others need. They need to see how God has worked in your life so that they can trust that He will work in theirs too. Every moment of your journey, every victory, every defeat, and every lesson is part of a greater story that God is telling through you, a story that will inspire and teach those who come after you. You are a teacher through your trials, whether you recognize it or not. Sometimes we focus so much on the difficulty of the situation that we forget that within every challenge lies an opportunity to teach. Teaching doesn't always mean standing in front of a classroom or delivering a lecture. In God's kingdom, teaching is about living out the principles of faith, perseverance, and trust in a way that others can see and learn from. You, my friend, have been positioned to teach by the very struggles you face. Your life, your responses, your decisions in the middle of hardship are the curriculum for others to learn from. When you go through difficult times, people are watching. They are watching to see how you handle rejection, disappointment, and pain. How do you deal with loss? How do you respond when things don't go your way? These questions aren't just on your mind, they are on the minds of those around you who are looking to you for guidance, whether they realize it or not. They are looking at how you navigate your troubles with a sense of peace and trust in God's plan. Your ability to face challenges without letting them destroy your spirit becomes the lesson they need to learn in their own lives. You might be unaware, but there are people learning from your actions, your demeanor, and your attitude, all because you choose to trust in God even when things are tough. Your greatest lessons are not taught through words, but through the way you carry yourself during times of pressure. When you remain calm in chaos, when you forgive those who hurt you, when you trust God, even when you don't see the solution you are teaching, you are showing others how to live out their faith in real life. God is using your actions to teach them what words cannot. You might not be standing on a stage, but you are still teaching others how to navigate the storms of life with dignity, grace, and unwavering trust in God. We often underestimate the power of example. We think that we need to have it all figured out before we can teach anyone. But the reality is that sometimes the most powerful lesson you can teach is simply showing up and remaining faithful in the midst of your own struggles. The way you endure, the way you continue to walk in God's purpose, despite the challenges, teaches those around you what it means to trust God's plan. You don't need to have all the answers or be without flaws. You just need to be willing to teach others by being faithful to God's calling in your life, even when it's hard. Through your trials, you are shaping the next generation of believers who will look to your life as an example. You are preparing them for their own journey by showing them what it looks like to walk in faith, to endure hardship, and to come out on the other side victorious. Your trials are not just for your own growth, they are for the growth of others. Because in every situation, you are teaching someone else how to overcome, how to trust, and how to live in the light of God's purpose for their life. Your struggles provide valuable lessons for others, whether you are aware of it or not. There is an incredible truth in this. Everything you face, every hardship, and every challenge you endure is not only shaping you, but also shaping the people around you. You may think that your difficulties are a private matter, that your pain is just yours to bear. But the reality is that through your struggles, you are imparting wisdom, strength, and hope to others. You are teaching them, often without saying a word, how to handle their own battles. When you go through difficult times and stand strong, others learn how to persevere. When you face a setback and keep moving forward, they learn that failure is not the end, but just another step in the journey towards success. Your endurance in the face of adversity teaches them resilience. Your ability to remain calm in the storm shows them that peace doesn't come from external circumstances, but from an unwavering trust in God's presence and power. Every time you press forward, you are giving others a blueprint for how to respond when they face their own challenges. You are teaching them how to rise above their own difficulties with dignity and grace. Moreover, your response to hardship teaches others about hope. When you're going through a tough time, others may be waiting to see if you'll lose your faith, if you'll crumble under the weight of it all. But when you choose to remain faithful, when you choose to trust God, when you continue to praise Him despite the situation, you show them that hope is not based on what we see, but on the unchanging character of God. Your ability to hope in the midst of hopelessness becomes a lesson they will carry with them. They will remember how you never gave up, and it will give them the courage to continue on their own path, even when they can't see the way forward. In every moment of your struggle, there is an opportunity to teach. There is an opportunity to show others that pain is not permanent, that difficulties don't define us, and that God is faithful even in the hardest of times. Your life becomes a living testimony to others, a living lesson of how to endure, how to believe, and how to overcome. When you walk through the fire and come out refined, others can look to you as evidence that they too can emerge stronger from their own trials. Your struggles become their lessons in strength, resilience, and faith. And don't underestimate the power of your example. You don't need to have it all figured out or be perfect to teach others. In fact, your vulnerability, your honesty about the difficulties you face, and your willingness to continue moving forward in spite of it all makes your lessons even more powerful. People aren't looking for perfection, they're looking for hope, for proof that they too can make it through. When you share your journey, your process, and your trust in God, you're giving them a roadmap they can follow when their own struggles seem too much to bear. Every trial you face is not just a test for you, it's a test for those who are watching. They are waiting for you to show them how to handle what they're going through. They are learning from the way you face each obstacle and move forward. You are teaching them how to live in victory, how to maintain their peace, how to hold onto their faith when everything around them seems to be falling apart. Your struggle is not in vain. It's providing invaluable lessons to those who need them most, and by walking through your trials with grace and strength, you are lighting the way for others to follow. Your story is more than just a personal account of overcoming challenges. It is a powerful tool that God uses to transform lives. Every experience, every battle you face becomes part of the testimony that will reach someone else. Often we see our struggles as isolated events, moments of pain that we wish we could avoid, but in reality, they are stepping stones that shape not only our future, but also the futures of those around us. You may not see the full impact of your journey right now, but trust that your story is speaking volumes to others, even when you don't say a word. God has uniquely positioned you to be a source of encouragement and inspiration to others, and your experiences are the very materials He uses to mold you into the vessel that will pour out wisdom, strength, and hope to those in need. Your journey serves as a mirror for others to look into and see the potential for their own transformation. When they hear about what you've gone through and witness how you've handled it with faith, they are given the courage to believe that they too can overcome whatever they are facing. Your story is a message of possibility, a message that says, if God can bring them through it, He can bring me through it too. Sometimes you may wonder if anyone is paying attention to the battles you're fighting or the pain you're enduring. The truth is, people are watching. They are watching to see how you will respond when life gets difficult, and in your response, they find hope and strength for their own struggles. Your testimony is a living example that shows others how to walk in faith, even when the road is rough. It teaches them that it's not about avoiding challenges, but about how we rise up in the face of them. Every setback you face is another chapter in a story of triumph. And when you share that story, it becomes a lifeline for someone else who is about to give up. Think about the power of sharing your story. It's one thing to read a book or hear about someone else's victory, but it's an entirely different thing to witness someone you know, someone who has walked the same earth, faced similar struggles, come through with faith and victory. That is the power of your story. It is authentic, it is real, and it has the power to connect with others in a way that no other message can. When you share your struggles and your victories, you create an environment where others feel they are not alone in their pain. You let them know that they too are capable of overcoming. Furthermore, your story gives others the courage to start their own journey of healing, restoration, and transformation. Many people are stuck in their pain because they feel isolated or misunderstood. They think no one has gone through what they're going through, or they believe their struggles define them. But when they hear your story, it opens their eyes to the fact that they are not alone. They see that there is a way out, that there is hope beyond their present circumstances, and that change is possible. Your story becomes a catalyst for change in their own lives. Every hardship you endure is an opportunity to teach others how to rise above their circumstances. But it's not just about teaching them how to survive, it's about showing them how to thrive. Your journey doesn't just reflect your ability to get through the hard times, it showcases the goodness, faithfulness, and power of God in the process. Your story becomes a testament to His ability to take what the enemy meant for evil and turn it for good. It's a living proof that God never wastes pain, and He is always working in the midst of our struggles, shaping us into something greater than we could ever imagine. Through your story, others are learning that their pain has purpose, that their struggles will not define them, and that God has a plan for them that goes beyond the difficulties they are facing right now. In essence, your story is the message that someone else needs to hear. The way you share your pain, your victory, and your unwavering faith becomes the blueprint for someone else to follow. It's not just a story of survival, it's a story of transformation, restoration, and the ultimate triumph of God's grace and power. When you share your story, you give others permission to believe that their story can end the same way. Through your life, you are teaching them that no matter how dark the night may be, joy comes in the morning. Your story is teaching them to hold on, to press forward, and to trust that God is working all things together for their good. Your life is a living testimony to the power of God working through ordinary people. You may look at yourself and see just another individual struggling to make it through life, but God sees you as His vessel, chosen, equipped, and appointed to carry out His purpose in a way that will touch lives and change destinies. He is using you in ways you cannot even imagine. Every challenge you faced, every moment of hardship has been a training ground for you to be a beacon of hope to others. Through your journey, God is demonstrating that He can take anyone, no matter their background, no matter their struggles, and use them to bring about something extraordinary. When you feel weak, when you feel like you've reached the end of your strength, know that this is the moment where God is working most powerfully in your life. He is showing you that His power is made perfect in weakness. Your vulnerability, your moments of brokenness, are the exact places where His strength shines the brightest. And it's not just for you. God is allowing you to go through these experiences so that when you come out on the other side, you can testify to others that He is faithful, that He is able, and that He will never leave you or forsake you. You may not understand it now, but every time you experience hardship and choose to trust in God, you are proving to the world that the grace of God is sufficient. You are showing others that God doesn't just work through perfect people, He works through people who are willing to surrender to Him. Every time you push through a trial, you give others permission to do the same. You give them the courage to take the next step, to trust God even when they can't see the way forward. You show them that it's not about perfection, it's about perseverance and trusting in God's plan. In your darkest moments, God is revealing Himself to others through you. People are watching how you react, how you carry yourself through the storm, and they are learning from your example. You are teaching them not through words, but through your actions and your faith. When you rise above your circumstances, when you continue to walk with God, even when the road is tough, you show them that it is possible to live with purpose and joy, even in the midst of hardship. Your life is a testament to the truth that God can use anyone, no matter their past, no matter their flaws. He takes us in our brokenness, our weakness, and our struggles, and He uses those very things to bring glory to His name. What you are going through right now may feel like a burden, but in God's hands, it becomes a platform for His glory. Your journey is not just for you, it is for those who will be touched by your story. Every moment you continue to trust God, every step you take forward in faith is showing the world that God is faithful and that He can use anyone for His purposes. Through your life, God is demonstrating that He specializes in turning brokenness into beauty. You may have scars from your struggles, but those scars are a testimony to the healing power of God. You may have faced setbacks, but those setbacks are stepping stones to greater things. Your story is a living, breathing example of God's transformative power, and it is a light to others who are walking through their own darkness. When they look at you, they see that if God can do it for you, He can do it for them too. You are proof that God doesn't need perfect people. He needs willing hearts, and He is willing to work through anyone who is willing to surrender to His will. Remember, every challenge you face is not just for you, it is for the world to see. God is using you to show others His power, His grace, and His ability to take us from the lowest points of our lives to the highest. When you endure and keep trusting in God, you are living proof that with God, all things are possible. Your life is a testimony to the fact that God can take ordinary people like you and me and use them in extraordinary ways to make a difference in the world. Your story is just the beginning of the many lives that will be touched by your faithfulness. Through your journey, God is showing the world that He is still in the business of miracles and that He can use anyone, no matter their past or present struggles, to do great things. The battles you've faced and the victories you've won are not just personal achievements, they are stepping stones that have positioned you to influence the lives of others. Every moment of triumph, every success you experience has a ripple effect that extends far beyond your immediate circle. God is using your life as a beacon of hope to those around you. When you overcome challenges, when you rise above obstacles, you are giving others the courage and the belief that they too can overcome their own struggles. The lessons you've learned are not meant to be kept to yourself. They are meant to be shared, to be passed on to those who are looking for guidance and strength. When you face a challenge and persevere, you become an example for others. They are watching you. Even when you don't realize it, they are learning from your reactions, from the way you handle stress, disappointment, and hardship. Your strength in times of weakness becomes a source of inspiration for those around you. You may never hear it directly, but there are people in your life who are watching your every move and drawing strength from your example. Your perseverance, your ability to stand firm in the face of adversity, teaches them that they too can stand strong. Your story shows them that failure is not final, that setbacks are only setups for comebacks. Every time you rise after falling, every time you continue moving forward despite the odds, you are teaching others that they don't have to stay down. They don't have to be defined by their failures or mistakes. Instead, they can rise, just as you did, and move forward with renewed strength and faith. Your victories become their inspiration. Your journey becomes a living example of what's possible when we trust in God's plan, when we lean on His strength, and when we keep moving forward in faith. The impact of your life is not limited to the immediate people around you. Your story, your testimony is meant to be shared with the world. It's a story that will resonate with people from all walks of life, people who are facing their own battles, their own struggles. When you share your victories and the lessons you've learned, you are planting seeds of hope and encouragement in others' hearts. Your experiences, your struggles, and your triumphs become a source of light for others who are walking in darkness. You become a living example of what it looks like to trust God through every storm, to hold on to His promises when life feels uncertain. In every victory, you are teaching others that success is not just about winning, it's about persistence, it's about staying true to your purpose, it's about learning from your failures and moving forward with more wisdom and grace. Your successes are not just for your personal satisfaction, they are part of a greater purpose that God is using to impact the lives of others. When you share your victories, you inspire others to press on, to keep going, even when the journey gets tough. They see your example and realize that they too can achieve what seems impossible. Even the smallest victories are meaningful when they are shared. It's not always the big moments that have the greatest impact. Sometimes it's the little acts of faith and perseverance that speak the loudest. Now, when you make it through a tough season, when you hold on to hope, when you choose to walk in faith, even when the road is unclear, you are teaching others that it's not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you get back up. Your story, your victories become a roadmap for others to follow, showing them that no matter what they face, they too can rise above it. Every victory you achieve becomes a testimony of God's faithfulness. When you share your successes, you are not only uplifting yourself, but you are also honoring God, for it is His strength that enabled you to overcome. You are showing others that with God, all things are possible. You are teaching them to believe in the power of God's promises, in the power of His love, and in the power of perseverance. Through your victories, you demonstrate to others that their struggles, too, will lead to their triumphs. Every battle you fight and win is a lesson in trusting God's timing, in understanding that the victory is not just for you, but for all those who will be inspired by your journey. Your victories are part of the larger picture God is painting for the world. You may not see it now, but your success is intertwined with the success of others. As you rise, you bring others with you. You are teaching them that they don't have to be passive bystanders in their own lives. They can take hold of their own faith, their own purpose, and begin walking out their own victories. Your life is not just about your own progress. It is about encouraging others to move forward with faith, hope, and determination. You are teaching them that no matter how impossible the journey seems, with God, they can achieve more than they ever thought possible. God has chosen you to be a voice of wisdom and guidance to those around you. You may not always feel like the expert, but the truth is that God has equipped you with experiences, lessons, and insights that are meant to be shared with others. Every moment you've lived, every victory, and every trial has shaped you in ways that enable you to speak life and encouragement into the hearts of others. You have something of great value to offer, a perspective, a lesson, an experience that can help others navigate their own struggles and triumphs. God is using you to teach them, not because you are perfect, but because your journey has equipped you with wisdom and understanding that can change lives. When you reflect on the lessons you've learned, it's clear that much of your growth came through the very struggles that you faced. These challenges were not meant to defeat you, but to refine you, to teach you patience, resilience, and faith. These same lessons are what God will use to help others who are currently facing their own battles. You've walked through fire and you've come out stronger, not by your own might, but by the grace and strength of God. And now, you are equipped to help others walk through their own fires with faith and courage. Your struggles become a source of strength for them because they see that if God could bring you through, He can do the same for them. You've gained wisdom from the seasons of waiting, the moments when God had you in a place of preparation. And this wisdom is invaluable to others. While they may be struggling to understand the season they are in, you can offer the perspective of someone who has been there. You can speak to them in a way that helps them see beyond their present circumstances, showing them that the pain they are experiencing is temporary, but the growth that comes from it will last a lifetime. Your experience becomes the key to unlocking hope in the hearts of those who are still in the process of becoming who God has called them to be. In many ways, your life is a living testimony of the truth that God uses the weak things of the world to confound the strong. He takes ordinary people with ordinary experiences and uses them to do extraordinary things. It's not your expertise or your credentials that make you valuable. It's your willingness to allow God to use you in ways that others cannot deny. You are teaching others that they don't need to wait for the perfect moment or the perfect qualifications to step into their purpose. God can use them right where they are with everything they have, just as He is using you. Your life is proof that God can take anyone, no matter their background, no matter their struggles, and use them to bring wisdom and clarity to others. God has placed within you a wealth of knowledge that you may not even realize you carry. Every experience, every hardship, every breakthrough has provided you with a perspective that is priceless to those who are still in the dark. You may feel like your wisdom is insignificant, but to someone else, it is the light they need to navigate their own journey. The words you speak, the lessons you share are not just your own. They are the very words of God spoken through you to heal, restore, and uplift others. When you open your mouth, it is not just your voice they hear, it is the voice of God giving them guidance, hope, and direction. Your journey has not only shaped you, but it has also given you a responsibility. You are called to pass on the wisdom you've gained. You are called to share your story, to teach others the lessons you've learned, and to encourage them to keep going, even when the road is tough. You are called to speak life into them, to show them that God's plan is greater than their current circumstances, and to help them see that they are not alone. When you share your wisdom, you give others the tools they need to build a life of purpose, hope, and faith. When you embrace your role as a teacher, as someone who has been equipped to guide others, you become a vessel through which God's love and truth can flow. Your willingness to share your experiences, to speak from a place of understanding and empathy, allows others to find the courage to face their own challenges. You are not just teaching them what you know, you are showing them that they can learn from their own experiences too, and that their journey, just like yours, can become a source of strength for others. In this way, your life is a testament to the power of shared wisdom. By passing on what you've learned, you help others see that their own struggles and victories have value. They may not yet realize it, but through your words and your example, you are helping them recognize that their life has purpose. Your wisdom becomes the seed that grows into something greater in their lives. You are not just teaching them for a moment, you are equipping them for a lifetime of victory. Through you, God is showing them that they too are vessels of His truth and wisdom, and that they are capable of teaching and guiding others on their own journeys. As you continue to walk in the purpose God has set for your life, remember that the very people you encounter are not accidents, they are divine appointments. Every person you meet, every relationship you build is an opportunity for you to impart what you've learned and to impact their lives in ways you may not even fully understand. God has strategically placed people in your path for a reason. You are not just passing through life unaware of those around you. No, you are walking in a divine rhythm, and as you move, you are meant to touch the lives of those God has ordained for you to reach. There are people in your life right now who are waiting for your words, waiting for your testimony, waiting for your actions to reveal to them the love and power of God. They are in need of guidance, of wisdom, of someone to show them that there is a way through their struggles, that there is hope, that there is a future beyond their present situation. And God has placed you in their lives to be that source of light, that source of encouragement, that source of teaching. You may not always see the impact you have, but trust me when I say that your influence is far greater than you know. Your presence alone is a lesson to them about perseverance, faith, and the importance of following God's calling, no matter how challenging it may seem. You are a living example that God doesn't make mistakes. Every encounter you have is an opportunity for you to be His vessel of truth, to teach others what it means to live with purpose, to live with faith, and to live in a way that glorifies Him. Think of the people you've come across in your journey, how they've watched you, listened to you, and been impacted by your words and your actions. Whether it's a family member, a friend, a co-worker, or even a stranger, every interaction is an opportunity to teach. Through your kindness, your patience, your wisdom, you are showing them what it looks like to live out God's love in the world. There are those who may be watching you from afar, unsure of how to approach you, but they see something in you, a light that draws them in, a sense of peace that speaks volumes, a resilience that inspires. You may not even realize it, but your actions, your decisions, and your response to challenges are teaching them lessons that words alone could never communicate. You are imparting wisdom simply by the way you live, by how you navigate life's difficulties, by how you carry yourself with integrity, by how you remain faithful to God's calling despite the setbacks and difficulties you face. Think about the times when you've been in situations that seemed impossible, when you've struggled, when you faced challenges that you weren't sure how to overcome, but you made it through. And now others are watching you, taking note of how you handle your situations. You may not be aware of the lessons they are learning from you, but they are watching closely. They are watching how you hold your peace in the midst of turmoil, how you speak life in times of despair, how you keep going when you feel like giving up. They see you overcome your circumstances with strength, and that alone teaches them that they can do the same. The people around you need to know that they are not alone in their struggles. They need to hear from someone who has walked the road before them, someone who can show them that it is possible to navigate through life's difficulties and emerge victorious. You, my friend, are that person. Your experiences, your wisdom, your journey are a beacon of hope for those who are struggling to find their way. You may be the only person in their life who can show them that there is a way out of their struggles, that God is faithful, that He is with them in every step, and that they can overcome whatever they are facing. God is using you to teach others through your life. Your testimony is a living testimony of His faithfulness, His power, and His grace. You are not just teaching with your words, you are teaching with your actions. Your life is a message to those around you that God can take anyone, no matter their past or their present circumstances, and use them for His glory. You are showing them that their mistakes do not define them, that their failures are not the end, but the beginning of something greater. Every moment you live is a lesson in perseverance, in trusting God, and in living with purpose. When you realize that God has placed you in the lives of others to teach them, you begin to see your life differently. You begin to understand that every challenge you face is not just for your own growth, but for the growth of those around you. Every victory you experience is not just for your own joy, but for the joy of others who will be encouraged by your story. Every trial you endure is not just to strengthen you, but to strengthen others who are watching, who are learning from you, and who will be impacted by how you handle the situation. You don't have to be perfect to teach. You don't have to have all the answers. What you need is the willingness to live authentically, to share what you have learned, to be a living testimony of God's work in your life. The people around you need you, and you may never know the full impact you are having on their lives. But rest assured, every time you step out in faith, every time you choose to live with integrity and perseverance, you are teaching others the greatest lessons they could ever learn. You are showing them what it means to live in the fullness of God's grace and purpose. Through your life, they are learning that they too can walk in their own purpose and overcome any obstacle that comes their way. You see, as you step into your God-given role as a teacher, you must understand that your impact goes far beyond what you might initially perceive. It is not just about the words you speak, but the life you live. When you allow God to use you as a vessel of teaching, you not only impart wisdom, but you also model a lifestyle that encourages others to rise up and walk in their own purpose. Your life becomes a reflection of God's greatness, His goodness, and His ability to transform. Your actions speak louder than your words, and in everything you do, you are teaching others how to live, how to grow, and how to trust in God.